one of the common mistakes which a lot of fans do is they watch a comedian, say today, and they're watching maybe comedy for the first time and they fall in love with the comedy. They fall in love with the comedian. And then the same comic has a show again after 2 days, they'll go there again because they've fallen in love with the comedian or the jokes. And when they go there and
Oh,
they hear the comedian doing the same jokes, okay, then they say, "Oh, sir, these are the exact same jokes, word to word, which you did 2 days back." I said, "Of course. अगर आप आमिर खान की दंगल आज देखोगे, 2 दिन बाद देखोगे, उसको दो ही बेटियां होंगी, उसने 2 दिन में 4 बेटियां नहीं पैदा की होगी, you know." So it's
correct.
like that. So
Mm,
people have to understand that writing jokes is a very difficult process. So
mm,
if you heard one out of a comedian, next time take a break, take 4, 5, 6 months and go and watch him. Maybe he'll have 20, 30 minutes of new jokes because
mm.
there's this new trend which has started, very silly trend of, "Hey sir, I watched you 6 months back. I'm coming again to watch you. Are you going to repeat on the same jokes?" अच्छा तुम
Yes.
साला अरिजीत सिंह को एक क्वेश्चन पूछता है, अरिजीत सिंह के कॉन्सर्ट पे जाएगा, अगर वो चन्ना मेरा नहीं गाएगा, तुम रोज you'll cry and go, अरे उसने चन्ना मेरा नहीं गाया, because
हाँ.
if Arijit Singh sings new songs every time, you'll never go to his concert. You want to go to hear his old concert. So even our jokes are a Channa Meria. Okay, so listen to them again.
Fantastic. Hi everyone, good morning and welcome to Cracking the Code presented by Onflit. Today it's our 20th episode with Mr. Atul Khatri. Let me quickly introduce him for all of you who don't know him. So Atul is a businessman and an English stand-up comic based out of Mumbai. He's a computer engineer and a British management school scholar who who ran an IT company successfully for 26 years before venturing full-time into stand-up comedy business. Right from winning his first ever open mic he stepped on in 2012 to winning CEO's Got Talent in 2014, Atul has really come a long way. Atul has been rated as top 20 English comics in India to watch out for by CNN and IBN. Having performed in over 400 private, corporate, and college shows to performing globally in USA, UK, Singapore, Thailand, Hong Kong, and many more, this is the man who still orders his soup one by two. My guest today, ladies and gentlemen, has experience of DJing for a day, stand-up comic for a decade, and lot more. So, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for none other than Mr. Atul Khatri. Hi, Atul sir. Welcome and good morning, and welcome to Cracking the Code.
Thank you so much for having me over here, Dilwaz. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, sir. How about you?
All good. Yeah. Thank you so much.
My first question, and let me come right onto the point, right? Why is your Instagram and Twitter handle still called as 1x2 and your YouTube handle is called Gutter Guppy? So what's the logic or science behind 1x2 and Gutter Guppy?
So 1 by 2 is actually, it's come up this concept of 1 by 2 soup which we order. So actually that was one of the first sets which I did in my open mic, where
Mm-hmm.
I talked about this, how in India, you can go very confident to any restaurant and ask, a soup 1 by 2. Okay, so you basically pay for one, but you get around 1.2, 1.25. And
Uh-huh.
I sometimes when I'm alone also, I always order my soup 1 by 2 because you get more value for
Mm.
money. So this 1 by 2 concept is so unique to India. So you can you can do 2 by 3, 3 by 14, 3 by 16, any ratio you want, which is the odd ratio, you can go to very confidently. That doesn't happen abroad. If you go to abroad, any Chinese restaurant or somewhere and say 1 by 2, they'll throw the soup on your head and say, khud jo bhi karna hai karo, that we are not doing it. So I found this concept of 1 by 2 very, very unique to India,
Uh-huh.
to us, and that's why I used 1 by 2. It's just stuck on to me for a long
Mm.
time. And Gatagapi is actually, I'm from Mumbai, and Mumbai, what happens is during monsoons, the roads get flooded and our sewers get flooded. And there are these small, like a tadpoles, they're not even tadpoles. It's like, I think they're a variant of tadpoles. They're called Gatagapis. So as a child, I used to,
Oh.
yeah, when the roads used to get flooded as a child, we used to make these fishing nets
Mm-hmm.
and with the rod, and we used to catch these gatagapis, then put it in a plastic bag or put
Hmm.
it in a bowl at home and just see them. They're small like mini tadpoles, like a
Hmm.
kind of a thing. I don't think they ever, I think they just died as this. So they were always found in gutters. So that's why it's called gatagapi. It's a very, very, again, a very, very Bombay term. So
Hmm.
yeah, so it's just one of my, like, to, rekindle my memory. I think I've kept that name that.
Fantastic. So the second thing I want to talk about is the age, right? And the most important thing that I want to speak with you is you started the comedy career in your kind of early 40s, and you're already 50 plus right now, right? I
Yeah.
want to understand, are there any advantages or disadvantages of doing stand-up comedy, especially English stand-up comedy at this age?
Stand-up comedy is very much, telling your life stories on stage. Okay, so because I'm currently 52,
Mhm.
I have a larger time span or a timeline as compared to somebody who's 24. It's natural.
Right.
So I can talk about my school life, my college life, my marriage, my mother-in-law, my children, my work. A lot of more experiences. So that way, in a way, I have an advantage because I've been through more of life. I have more stories to say because stand-up comedy is purely just about sharing your stories of life,
Right.
making it personal, and obviously adding it with a lot of jokes and using your creative liberty. So that's one advantage I have. Secondly, what happens is another second advantage I have. I tend to do a lot of corporate shows because my material is suited for corporate. Number one, they corporate usually like clean corporate comedy and things like that. So, and me being from a ex corporate background, I know what they want. I know the
Oh.
protocols. I know how to behave at a corporate show, which a lot of the younger comedians, I wouldn't say they don't know, but sometimes they don't sort of follow those protocols which are corporate. It could be as simple as whenever I go to a corporate show, I wear a nice suit, nice, maybe a nice tie and go because that's how the audience is also dressed.
Hmm.
Unlike maybe a younger comedian who'll just wear a jeans t-shirt and maybe a trekking sandal and go on stage. And
Huh.
firstly, when the crowd watches him, बोलेगा इसको ये बच्चा हमको क्या बताएगा? We have seen life. But when
Yes.
I go with this salt and pepper hair and 52 52 years of age, even though I may be not as funny as the younger comedians, बोलेंगे हाँ इसको कुछ तो आता है, इसने जिंदगी देखी है. He ran a company
Hmm.
for 26 years. He knows what he's talking
Hmm.
about. So I've been through the drill. So that's the second
Hmm.
advantage I have. I really wouldn't say disadvantage, but yes, what happens is sometimes the younger comedians, they have a much more larger following because of their age and things like that. But having said that, I mean, honestly, if I sometimes see the demographics of my Instagram followers or Twitter followers, they are very, very young. It's not that I only have 40 plus or 50 plus people following me. Uh,
Hmm.
but still, even though, and when I write my jokes, to be honest with you, I not with a conscious decision that I have to attract the young fellow. See, when any comedians write your joke, you write for yourself. You don't write thinking कि इस target segment को मुझे attack करना है कि ये करना है वो करना है.
Hmm.
Yes, you have a wide range of jokes. So if you're going to a crowd and you see a lot of married people there, you tend to do a lot of married jokes. But if
Hmm.
you see a very young crowd over there, all in their 25, there's no point doing married jokes because they won't relate to you, because they're
Hmm.
all young. So
Hmm.
at that time, you have another set of jokes which you can do with that crowd so that they relate to you. But I think one of the best compliments I've got is that, I mean, in the same, with regards to the same comment you made, is that, the people say that, so even parents watching the show enjoy it because they see the joke from a parent's perspective, and the children see the same joke from their perspective.
Oh
Oh,
wow.
this is what our parents feel. So, I think that is a good compliment I have got. And but I still have a very, very young audience, and maybe in a way I'm a little unique because I'm probably the oldest guy who goes up on stage. So
Hmm.
sometimes the comment which I get from kids like, "I wish my father was as cool as you, doing stand-up
Wow.
comedy and things like that." So I think that's the thing which I get. But I think there are advantages, disadvantages, both. You know, but let me tell you here that the younger comedians are so brave. The kind of I would say when I brave is they're so confident. I've seen.
Hmm. Hmm.
I was never the the stage guy or the guy who used to go to elocution or debates in college. So I had to learn a lot for stand-up comedy.
Uh-huh.
But I've seen some of the crop of younger comedians and they are brilliant. So well done to them as well. Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm. So, but did you ever face a judgment? I know it's a little darker question, but from the के अरे इसको क्या आता है या ये comedy करेगा क्या? Or you find, as you said, advantage to you have spoken about that the
Yeah.
corporates are tend to taking you seriously. But what about the other crowd, colleges or other gigs? Do
So
you
I don't tend to get a lot of college shows, maybe for my age reason. They would rather
okay?
call a younger funny, maybe they may feel that, the younger crowd will work, a younger comedian will work. Rightfully so. But I have gone to many colleges and
Hmm.
performed for thousands of kids and I've done
Hmm.
well over there as well
Hmm.
because
Hmm.
my material, whatever said and done, is I have a lot of young elements to it, so they
Right.
will still enjoy it. It's not that only there are some older comedians who only talk about marriage and children and this and all.
Hmm.
I have a lot of like I can talk about Game of Thrones. I can talk about so many of
Yeah.
these young references which these
Yes.
children watch, and I don't
Yes.
talk about them because I have to because I'm attacking sort of addressing a younger crowd. So I go and I watch Game of Thrones. I love it. I watch Marvel movies. I watch DC. I used to read DC comics
Right.
as a young
Right.
kid. So it's more from a personal interest rather than anything else. And I'm
Okay.
fairly active on social media, so I know what are the
Hmm.
trends which are happening. So I
Yes.
can do talk about that as well. Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm. So
I don't think
before
I've
I
ever got judged. Sorry, to answer your question, Daddy, I don't think ever I've judged. Yes, in the audience of 3,000 people, somebody may like you, somebody may not like you, but that
yeah.
holds for any comedian.
So are
Yeah.
you a really cool father, or is there a difference between you on stage and you at home? So are you a
No, no,
cool
I
father?
no, no. I think I'm a fairly cool father. Rather, I would say a more practical father. And I think all
Okay.
parents have to be very practical. Your children today are growing up in a very different era. How we grew up. There's so much of access. They have easy access thanks to internet.
Hmm.
To everything under the world. So you will be foolish if you feel that we can't talk this about our children, or we should be let's not discuss this with our children. Today our children are very very smart. And when I said smart, एक जमाना होता था that they used to say only children in Bombay and Delhi are smarter than the rest of the Indian, because they have more exposure. But today,
Hmm.
I mean, not today, but since many years, this has become a level playing field. So a child in Jaipur, or a child in Meerut, or a child in Coimbatore is as smart as a kid in Bombay or Delhi, or maybe smarter, because maybe they have more time and more money spending power compared to a Bombay
Hmm.
kid or a Delhi kid. So I don't think that thing really exists any longer.
Hmm. So the third question, or rather the next topic I want to talk about, is myths around the comedy business, right? So can you help us bust maybe two or three or five, I don't know the number, but any number of myths that in general we as an audience have in mind about the comedy business or the comedy career?
So I'll just tell you one of the myths which a lot of people have is that, especially people who are watching comedy for the first time, they feel that a comedian has come on stage 1 hour and spoken impromptu. You know,
Hmm.
that's
Hmm.
usually you feel that. When I
Hmm.
actually, honestly, when I watched comedy 8 years back live in Bombay, even I thought, wow, the comedian is such a brilliant guy coming on stage 1 hour and just, so much knowledge he's got in his head. But actually, comedy is written, is all whatever jokes. Most of the comedians, they're written, they are
Hmm.
practiced, they know
Hmm.
when to pause, they know when to when the applause will come, they know when to pick up the mic, when they know when to interact with the audience. So obviously
Hmm.
some part of the interaction with the audience is all improv, but the most of the set, whoever comedian you watch, right from Kapil Sharma to George Carlin to anybody, these are written tested jokes. Because see, when you come out to watch comedy, you pay money to watch comedy, you spend your time, you spend your money, we better be funny. We cannot be coming there and trying jokes. And one
Hmm.
more thing, what has happened is thanks or bad to the internet, or thanks to this WhatsApp, where you are getting so many jokes and memes every day. You open your phone in the
Hmm.
morning and you you know you're thrown with hundreds of jokes for which and any
Hmm.
topic which happens.
Hmm.
So for example, the COVID, for example, COVID happened. Every day, still today, you get like hundreds of jokes about COVID. And nice jokes. So what happens when we go on stage? Our jokes have to rise above that. So it's made
Hmm.
actually writing jokes more difficult. So that's one part, that it's not if any comedian you love and all whatever you see is the same. It's a art which is very well worked upon. The comedian has spent 4, 5, 6 months to write maybe a 10-minute piece of original joke. That's one part of it.
So if I may add,
Yeah,
is it's a performance? It's a time well rehearsed,
absolutely. It's
documented
a performance.
performance.
It's a
Okay.
performance. It's absolutely a performance. Yes, obviously the interactions on the spot with the crowd, the front row, that is all improv, and
Right.
most comedians love that, including me. But the rest of the stand-up comedy is actually a performance, just like theater. That's one.
Hmm.
Secondly, uh, 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 the second myth about comedy is like everybody feel that, hey, I can take 2 drinks and go on stage and शेर बन जाऊंगा, और I'll go and kill the audience. वो आप 2-4 मिनट के लिए आप वो शेर बन जाओगे, but उसके बाद when you have 500 eyes looking at you, फिर
Hmm.
no, sorry to say, but फट जाती है. And then
Hmm.
you start, then you have to carry the joke. You have to have a arsenal of 1 hour of jokes. So 2-5 मिनट तो
Sure.
कोई भी अपने friend circle में और family circle में funny हो सकता है, but going on stage and deliver, that's It's this because that's the thing. Like many times when I go on stage and corporate shows and all, so I said, would you like a drink before the show? I said, no, it's actually a bad thing to drink before a show because you may forget your lines on stage. So most
Oh,
comedians internationally they'll party later on, but they never drink before a show or consume anything which will throw them apart or make them lose their material a set.
hmm,
And I
hmm.
have seen many a times some younger comedians they drink on stage and go and all that, and they make a mess of themselves. So
Acha.
it's a very serious business, stand-up comedy. You should respect the stage and not make a mess of yourself. That's number two. The third, I think, the most important myth is for all the young kids who are watching that comedians are funny, very funny. They'll women must be falling at them, or they get laid every night. ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता है. We comedians are funny only on stage. Off stage, we're the most boring people and the most weird people you'll ever meet. So it's a myth. So
Hmm.
yeah, that's the third, I would say, myth that this comedians get a lot of action because they're so funny. Women feel funny people are good. They'll be falling at their feet and wherever. ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता है.
Hmm.
It's a very hard. It's a business. It's a very serious profession, and whoever's wanting to entering it has to keep that in mind before entering it. Just don't think that suddenly आ जाऊंगा तो बहुत cool हो जाऊंगा. Holding a mic, saying jokes is
Hmm.
amazing. It's actually a very cool job, but there's
Hmm.
a lot of hard work which goes behind that. So I think these are the
Right.
three really myths. I would say.
Hmm.
Also, one more thing is because these, as I say, it's not really a myth, but one of the common mistakes which a lot of fans do is they watch a comedian, say today, and they're watching maybe comedy for the first time and they fall in love with the comedy. They fall in love with the comedian. And then the same comic has a show again after 2 days, they'll go there again because they've fallen in love with the comedian or the jokes. And when they go there and
Oh,
they hear the comedian doing the same jokes, okay, then they say, "Oh, sir, these are the exact same jokes, word to word, which you did 2 days back." I said, "Of course. अगर आप आमिर खान की दंगल आज देखोगे 2 दिन बाद देखोगे उसको दो ही बेटियां होंगी उसने 2 दिन में 4 बेटियां नहीं पैदा की होगी. So it's
correct.
like that. So
Hmm.
people have to understand that writing jokes is a very difficult process. So if
Hmm.
you heard one out of a comedian, next time take a break, take 4, 5, 6 months and go and watch him. Maybe he'll have 20, 30 minutes of new jokes because
Hmm.
there's this new trend which has started, very silly trend of, "Hey sir, I watched you 6 months back. I'm coming again to watch you. Are you going to repeat on the same jokes?" अच्छा तुम
Yes.
साला अरिजीत सिंह को एक क्वेश्चन पूछता है. अरिजीत सिंह के कॉन्सर्ट पे जाएगा अगर वो चन्ना मेरा नहीं गाएगा तुम रोज you'll cry and go, अरे उसने चन्ना मेरा नहीं गाया. Because
Huh.
if Arijit Singh sings new songs every time, you'll never go to his concert. You want to go to hear his old concert. So even our jokes are a channa meria. Okay, so listen to them again.
Fantastic. For aspiring guys who want to get into the comedy business, who want to pursue it as a career, what are the, so now once you've busted the myths, what are the skill set and work ethics that any aspiring stand-up comedy comic would need? So first talk about the skill sets, the general core skill sets, and then of course I would want you to talk a bit about the work ethic part also.
Okay. So first of all, in skill sets, one thing which is very happened very good is that
Hmm.
language is no longer a barrier. Okay.
Hmm.
At one time, our kind of stand-up comedy was a very English, urban,
Hmm.
concept because it started in the comedy clubs which are in cities. It came from New York, came from London. The first comedy club which opened in Bombay was run by Britishers, and if you had to perform over there, they wanted you to perform in English. So I knew a
Oh.
lot of my comedian friends like Amit Tandon, Vipul Goel. They used to who typically used to do comedy in Hindi back in wherever, but they had to rewrite their jokes in English and come because if they wanted to perform at the Comedy Store, which was the first comedy club in India. Okay, but
Hmm.
over the last few years, and rightfully so, all that has gone away. Now today you can do comedy in Hindi, in Marathi, Punjabi, whatever suits you, whatever is your mother tongue. And thanks to Geo and everybody around India having 4G connection at such low rates, you can do comedy in whichever language you want, and you'll still have your audience. That is one thing. So that is one myth, not really a myth, but yeah, this is one thing you can today. So that skill set is language is not a barrier. You can do in
Okay.
whatever you want, but obviously you will find your audience accordingly. If you want to perform internationally, then you better stick to English. If you want to perform across India, then maybe stick to Hindi. Maybe South, deep South, they will still not understand you of India. But whatever you can, wherever
And
you're comfortable, do your
And is
best.
there
Yeah.
a way people can experiment and figure out what they're really good at? Is there a method to do that?
Of course, in the sense that if you're very if you're conversant in both, like there are a lot of my friends who do Tamil, they do comedy in South India. They shift between Tamil and English, you know,
Okay.
while doing their jokes. They may do the punchlines in English, and then sorry, they will do the setup in English and the punchline maybe in Tamil.
Okay.
One thing, because you have to realize it, our Indian languages are so rich. They are much
Hmm.
richer than English language. Uh,
Hmm.
like a word in Hindi, like a chichore, just to give an example. It's such a
Right.
beautiful word, that it means so many things.
Hmm.
So sometimes using the right Hindi word itself is so it's
Hmm.
important for your set. Okay. So that's one thing where no language is not. Most importantly, in stand-up comedy, it's very simple to get into stand-up comedy. The only good part, there is no nepotism here. There is nothing. It's you have to go for an open mic. Okay, open mic are nights, where it happens across most of the metros. Ajkal to even on Zoom it's happening and virtually
Yeah.
it's happening. But
Hmm. Hmm.
initially, I'm saying in a post-COVID or a pre-COVID era, I think there are comedy clubs across like Bombay, Delhi, Pune, Bangalore, Chandigarh. A lot of major cities have it.
Hmm.
The only way to get into comedy is you write an original set. Over here, I want to tell you is please don't copy jokes. Okay, that's very very important, and this is the most important lesson. You cannot copy jokes from other comedians. You cannot say that okay, this Pakistani comedian had done way back in the 80s. I have watched it in one of the things. Let me change it, make it little. Or this is a set which a comedian in Australia has done. थोड़ा
Hmm.
किसको पता चलेगा इधर. Let me just make it थोड़ा उसको Indian करके यहाँ चिपका डालता हूँ. If
Hmm.
any of you are caught, any of us are caught stealing jokes either from a fellow comedian or from the internet or from wherever, you are thrown out of the industry. Nobody will talk to you. Nobody will give you spots. You will never get on stage. It's so seriously. So quickly the word, even though it's a fairly large industry now, but the word quickly spreads that this a particular comedian is a thief. He steals jokes, and you will be surprised. Comedians will stop talking to you. They'll block you on social media. Then soon you'll find yourself alienated. So
Oh.
write original jokes. So write your original jokes, take a spot at one of the comedy open mics. You have to do that effort. So suppose you are staying in Meerut, go to Delhi. Just to give an example, if you're in Jaipur, if no open mics happen in Jaipur, go to Delhi, find out over there, go there, stay in your relative's house or your friend's house, hit the open mics there, write a set,
Hmm.
and go there and perform. And uh, it's a very simple art form. You write jokes. If the audience laughs, you are funny. No other comedian, no other. There are no judges. There's no comedy owner who will decide you're funny or not funny. If your joke is funny, the audiences laugh because it's a very natural reaction. Nobody can
Hmm.
force laughter. So if
Hmm.
you're genuinely funny, you can have all your best friends sitting in the comedy club, but if your jokes are not funny, they will not laugh. They will probably laugh because you're failing rather than because you're successing if they're your friends. Yeah, so sorry. So coming to that aspect, what I would like to say is that so that is it. You write jokes, go to an open mic, perform there. If your jokes don't work, which they may not work in the first time, go back, rewrite your jokes, come back. Okay. One of the other things which I recommend to people is please do watch a lot of comedy. Okay,
Hmm.
watch comedy. I would say that today, okay, watch on YouTube, Netflix, Amazon, वो सब ठीक है. But if you have an opportunity to watch live stand-up comedy, there is nothing like that. And
Oh.
there's a big myth which a lot of, not really a myth, but a lot of a bad practice a lot of these young comedians do is that they just hold their sit on Netflix. They'll watch some Bill Burr in America. They'll watch some Dave Chappelle, some really really dark comedians, and they say, "Wow, this is what I want to do." And then they'll come out on open mic and do crazy dark jokes. Okay, and you have to
Oh.
realize the audience may not be prepared for that. Those
Right.
dark jokes works in a country where they've had comedy for 10 100 years. In the
Hmm.
US. In India, where the comedy scene is just 10 years old, where the audience is pretty new, you know,
Hmm.
you have to you have to read your audience. So I that's the biggest problem which I've seen a lot of young comedians do. They are lazy. They don't want to make the effort of going and watching comedy. So I'm saying if you're supposed from Jaipur, there's no comedy happening in Jaipur. Delhi mein to hoti hai. So maybe in one of your holiday weekends and all that, go take a bus, go to Delhi, stay in a relative's house, save your cost, and every night go and watch comedy. Say कि अच्छा
Hmm.
Thursday so and so is performing, Friday so and so is performing, Saturday so and so. Go and just watch, consume how what are the jokes he's doing, what is the audience laughing at. Uh,
Hmm.
what is what is the crowd enjoying, how is he behaving himself, how is he holding the mic, how is he, what is the stage performance, because you have to realize this comedy is two parts. One is the writing part,
Hmm.
where you write your jokes, which you can learn. Somebody can teach you something. There are a lot of creative workshops which happen. It's called creative writing. Some
Okay.
of our colleagues in our industry, like Anuva Pal, Aditi Mittal, a lot of people are doing these courses on creative, workshops and things like that.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Secondly, is one is the writing part. Second is the performance part. You write your jokes. अभी आपको उसको जाके stage पे बोलना है, But
Hmm.
that unfortunately, somebody you can do some tips and tricks here and there, but finally it's all upon you, you know.
Hmm.
And that is a very important part of the performance, the stage presence, how you perform.
Hmm.
Are you fumbling on stage? Are you, not comfortable? And let me tell you honestly, it will take you time. You have to, your first open mic, you might fail, your throat may become dry, you may forget your jokes, but no problem. Go back again,
Hmm.
rewrite it, rework on it, go again. And nobody succeeds on the first thing. Even I started with an open mic. Zakir Khan started with an open mic. You name the biggest comedian in the world, they started with open mics. Nobody who ऊपर से टपका नहीं and went on stage and started killing 1 hour of comedy. So
Right.
very, I've not heard of anybody like this.
And how important do you think it is to be a funny guy also?
Generally, if you're a funny guy, if you're a guy in your friend circle or your family circle who's continuously, cutting jokes or cracking jokes, every friend circle has that guy. You
Hmm.
wait for him, he comes and he enlightens the party, and he lights up the party, and you're all having fun, and he'll crack jokes on people.
Hmm.
Obviously, he has a funny bone to it. Uh, Honestly, in my family group or my friend circle, I was that guy. Okay,
Hmm.
but I was there within my family group. At my workplace, I was a very serious guy. Okay,
Right.
a lot of people still in my work don't believe that, oh my god, how did he become a comedian? A lot of my clients still don't believe, oh, you are so funny. How you, when we dealt with you for 8 years, you never showed us your funny side. But yeah, that's a different side to it.
Ah.
I'm a guy who only opens up with, I was slightly introvert that time, that I only opened up with my friend circle. When I used to never open up with strangers, not knowing how they would react to it. So yeah, so one is the funny part of it. Uh, Second is, uh, the writing part of it is also, I would say, very important. In fact, today the writing part, in terms of weightage percentage, I'll give it the most.
Okay.
And yeah, because jokes have to be really, really funny today. I'm telling you, because this WhatsApp and internet and social media has a lot of ruined a lot of things for a lot of industries. You have to
Hmm.
realize, at one time, I mean, I'm talking about my age, when I was young, the only entertainment used to be a movie on a Friday. Okay, where it was a big thing. Is Friday ko Wonder Woman lag rahi hai? For example. So there has
Hmm.
to be a big excitement. One Thursday before, you stand in a queue in a theater, you buy tickets, advance tickets for the next Friday, first show, 9 o'clock show, whatever show you want to watch. Your full build up or your system was that morning you woke up, aaj picture pe jana hai, aaj picture pe jana hai. Okay. Today, everything is coming on your smartphone. There is no excitement left. By the time in the evening, you already watched some 6 comedy videos on WhatsApp, 3 memes, something political has happened, some cat video, dog video. So by the evening, if you have to go for a movie, it's become more like a burden. Oh shit, yaar, aaj picture pe jana hai, yaar. Can we not go? Can we watch it when it comes out on Netflix? That's
Hmm.
become.
Hmm.
So your entertainment quota has already been flooded by a lot of other, stimulants which are continuously hitting you through the dates, pushing you. Okay, watch this, watch this. They're all, dying to get your attention. So,
Hmm.
that movie which you watch is, while you're watching the movie, also you're bloody replying to an email, replying to a WhatsApp, saying कि dinner
Yes.
कहाँ पे जाना है, बच्चे ने फोन किया, इसने किया, तभी थोड़ी कुछ होता था यार. Once मोबाइल फोन ही नहीं होते थे. You are
Ah.
there just enjoying the movie. You're soaked inside the experience. So that's why they had to create IMAX and all that, so people get more involved in
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
experience. Yeah, so I think the writing is a very, very important part, and then is
Hmm.
the performance part. I think I would give it also good weightage, because अभी आपने joke लिखा है, you're confident, good, and now it's your performance. And every comedian has a different, it has a different performance style. Sometimes your joke on the paper can be very weak, but how you deliver it on stage can elevate that joke to a different level. Because I have had
Hmm.
comedian friends, when they tell me the joke सामने सामने बैठे बैठे, ऐसे यार ठीक है, इतना funny नहीं है, but when he
Hmm.
does it on stage, because of his performance, he takes it to such a level, like, wow, what did he do with it? So it's all that, and it may take you a lot of time to build up that. So initially, when you write a joke, you're sort of just memorizing it, running through it. Slowly, slowly, you're doing that joke again and again and again. and within like a month or two, if you're doing it regularly, you start enjoying the joke. You have nailed it now. You know where you have to pause, where
Hmm.
the applause will come, where you have to increase your voice.
So you, like you said, that audience is there to give a feedback, and the audience will tell you whether it's funny or not. Do you guys internally in the comedy circle, also have an internal feedback system? Like you said, that somebody will run a joke across through you, and you'll tell them whether it works or not. So do you have that kind of a system as well?
So basically, what happens is that uh, so we all have our friends within the comedy scene. Uh,
Hmm.
like yesterday, I was performing in a comedy club. I was trying out some jokes last night, and there was another fellow comedian, and I didn't tell him to do it, but at the end of it, when I got off on stage, and then after the show when we were hanging around, he said, "यार ये joke पे तो ये भी add कर सकता है इसको ऐसे." So he was actually sitting and making notes as a friend.
Oh,
I didn't tell him
oh,
to do it. So that really helps sometimes, because you as a
wow.
comedian, as a writer, have written so much, but other comedian is giving you this. So a lot of good practice usually where they say that you should have a group of 2, 3 of your fellow comedians who you can be comfortable with bouncing jokes, and tell him कि ये मैंने लिखा है, what do you feel? He'll say हाँ ये अच्छा thought है, but ये शायद बिस्वा ने already किया हुआ है. अच्छा उसने किया हुआ है, okay then please drop it, you know. So the
Wow.
thing is that, yeah, so like that you can, okay, nahi yaar, this joke sounds very internet, don't do it, you know. So we have this like either you can have a close group of friends or go to a comedy club, and if you see other comedians and request them, hey guys, I'm trying a set, कुछ feedback देना है तो दो, and they'll say नहीं यार this sounds very sleazy, ये बहुत misogynist, थोड़ा misogynist sound कर रहा है, इसको change कर दे, ये wording change कर दे. So yeah, all that feedback does come.
So do you think your that knowledge of business that you were running an IT company and uh, got transferred to you now being in a stand-up comic? And if you think, what are those critical work ethics, business areas that you think maybe a young comedian is missing? And if they're missing it, how can they learn it also?
So yes, see, one is that any life experiences you have, like if I spent 25, 26 years in an IT field,
Hmm.
I carry a lot of experiences of that. You can't one day, nahi, it's not like a memory, it's a hard disk, isko nikal diya, फेंक दिया, दूसरा hard disk लगाया, now you're fresh, rebooted. So obviously you carry a lot of those experiences with you and how you deal. So yes, I think I could very confidently say among most of the comedians, I am maybe one of the most professional when it comes to either replying to emails, uh,
Hmm.
being very specific about time.
Hmm.
I'm a big stickler for time, and it's not because of it was there before in me. Like I had a thing like if there's a meeting at 9:30, I have to be there at 9:15. So it's that if supposing there's a meeting in South Bombay, I live in North Bombay. You work backwards. You 9:30 means you feel okay. It's a Wednesday morning. It will take you 1 hour to travel, which means
Hmm.
you have to leave home sharp at 8:30, which means you have to wake up at 1 hour before or 2 hours before, whatever is the morning routine. So it's not that you just wake up, oh my God, I'm late, and call up the client, sir, I'm running late, and give some excuses. Nothing, that there's no excuses, because in especially I think in Bombay, time is a very very big resource.
Hmm.
And now it has become everywhere, but I know in Bombay, because earlier I used to do a lot of dealings with specifically Delhi, and there was a very different work culture there. People 9:30 ऐसे पागल है कि आपको ना 9:30 कोई भी नहीं, हमारा पियून भी नहीं आता है. Even though the office timing is 9 to 6, and 11 बजे तो खुलता है हम, 11 or 9:30 तो I wake up. So those two things happen, but that's okay. That's the work culture. Everybody knows in Delhi, 9:30
Hmm.
means 11:30. Maybe it must have
Hmm.
changed now, but I'm
Hmm.
talking about many years ago. So time, for example, is I look at time very, very important. I bring the same things to the table. I try to be very humble to this profession, because uh, uh, I don't carry any airs that, hey, I was a CEO of a company for 25 years. If I have to go and request a comedy club owner, can please give me a spot, I will still do it, because I know this is, I will not say how the hell should he should come to me, why should I? So
Hmm.
please, leave all your egos outside of the door and
Hmm.
come inside. Number one, all your past egos and your past achievements, because the best thing about stand-up comedy is on that particular night a young comedian can come and steal the thunder from the room, even though you have
Right.
done comedy for 30 years, 40 years. Okay, so comedy is a very beautiful art form, very very raw art form, and it has happened many a times. I've seen it with my eyes. A young comedian has gone. We all sort of senior or sort of established comedians have gone, and he has gone and stole the thunder from the room, like taken all the laughs and claps and gone, and then we are following him after that. we feel give shit, he took the limelight of the day, and
Hmm.
very difficult to follow that act. But that's his skill. That's he used it at that particular day. The audience was with him. So yes, I think I do bring a lot of work culture, ethics culture
Hmm.
to my this. I make it a point to, after, for example, after every show, I will write an email to the client. Ke, hey, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. Let's work again in the future.
Wow.
Uh, you reach on time. You follow the corporate culture which is there. It could be as simple thing as like. After the show, when the show gets over in a corporate show, I will go and ask the events guy, who's any person senior in the company you would like me to meet. So he'll say, oh yeah, yeah,
Oh,
so let's, before you leave, just meet the CEO. He'll feel happy. So I'll
wow.
wait. The show is going on behind me. There's some 4 more awards happening. Some dance program is happening. I'll wait quietly for 1 hour, sit over there, and then meet the CEO later on. Say hello to him, talk to him. Maybe if he says me, let's have a drink, I'll have a drink with him. You know,
Wow.
and so these are basically things which you do so that, see, it's an overall a good experience you have to give to the client. It's just not about your performance and getting out of it.
Hmm.
You know. Uh, 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 it might be very, very small things like, like usually when we go for a corporate show, we stay in a 5-star hotel, the entire tab is open for us. We can
Hmm.
eat whatever we want, we can this, but I know how it isn't. Like I can call all my 6 friends in Bangalore, Kal, aa jao, chalo mere room mein aa jao, we'll party, because the bill I have to just sign. Chalo, let's order lobster, prawns order karte hain, fish order karte hain, aaj to matlab iska kaatte hain corporate ka. I never
Hmm.
do that. I never do that. If my friends call me in Bangalore, hey, can we come to your? I say, no, no, forget it. 5-star mein kya khana hai? Let's go meet somewhere out.
Hmm.
Uh, because somewhere down the line, your bill will go to some HR guy after 2 days, and he'll say, what the hell? One Atul Khatri spent like 35,000 rupees on dinner. Kya khaya usne? So he will say no, because it is there in my contract. He has to pay for it. He's already paid for it. But somewhere down the line, uska hoga yaar, this is artist is trying to sort of run the system, drain the system, and I wouldn't want to do that, because I've been on
Wow.
that side. I would hate if I hire an artist in my corporate show and he does this to me. So be professional. Act. This I purposely put in all my contracts. मैं आगे से डालता हूँ that all food is included, but no alcohol, no tobacco.
Okay.
Yeah, and if you see some of the contracts, a lot of other artists, especially musicians, all they make it a point to say that tobacco and alcohol is included.
Right.
And
Huh.
you know how much a whiskey in a Taj Palace, New Delhi will cost.
Right. Right.
A peg of a 60 ml will cost vis-a-vis outside. So yeah, you just try to do all these things. So I mean, finally you have to live in the same, you have to swim in the same ocean. Yeah, you can't pee in the same ocean.
Hmm.
This is a proper industry.
Hmm.
I've got into it seeing that I'm going to be here, till I die. So I don't want to, mess with it or spoil it, or, उसको, खराब करके, गंद करके, चलो, like, जितना निकलता है निकालो अभी फिर, I have
Hmm.
to live here, yeah. So yeah, I
Do
think
you
that's
do you
very
also
important.
do you also think your 25 years of experience and the thought of getting into a long term thing कि boss इसको करना है और अपने को बढ़िया से करना है, do you think you have that kind of a mindset, and do you think
Of
you
course.
bring that? Okay.
Yeah, of course. This is very, very important. You can't look at it. I am a part of this industry, and
Hmm.
anybody who's a comedian, not many, right from the open micer or to
Hmm.
who's very serious about it, who is looking at this as a, you are a part of it. You cannot, and it is not only in the corporate show, like, even at a, like, I went to a comedy show on Monday to perform. Yeah,
Mhm.
on Monday to perform at a small comedy club in Bombay. You know, the show is starts from 8 o'clock. And I was there at 7:45. I was maybe the first or the second guy over there, because the show starts at 8. By 7:55, the crowd will start coming in. By 8
Wow.
o'clock, 8:05, I can't say, hey, I'm Atul Khatri, I'll come whatever time I want, or hey, I'm running late. Then don't take up the thing. And when you go to a comedy club, wear respectable clothes and go, because audience has paid. Like that day, the comedy club I went, there was one person, there's a one couple on a date. You know,
Hmm.
First time they were meeting in the COVID, they had come for a date out in a comedy club. They were well dressed, each
Hmm.
trying to impress each other. And if I have to go on stage as the artist and I go in chappals and
Hmm.
fatawat t-shirt and jeans, I can do
Hmm.
that, because there are no rules in comedy what you can wear, not wear. But just generally, you dress up well, you respect the stage, reach on time, start the show on time, end it on time. Maybe they have to go for dinner after that. So you have to keep all that in mind, not
Wow.
just run it however you want to.
That's fascinating because I think this is one again perspective that we generally won't think and speak about. We think it's a very casual line, jo ki tu sunane khade hoke. But now
Ah,
when I'm speaking to you and I'm getting all these insights, I think this shows that how serious and how serious this business is, right? Take us through the pre-lockdown phase, the during lockdown phase, and now, and also give me some insights on the business aspect of it. पहले क्या चल रहा था, lockdown में क्या हुआ, and how do you see the world going up ahead now? अब क्या होने वाला है? And is there anything guys who are thinking now of getting into this business needs to be ready for?
so actually, just to tell you, when the year started, 2020, actually, I personally am talking about my line is that I had a new special come out. It's called Daddy
Mhm,
Cool. Actually, it's called Daddy
mhm,
Cool. A
mhm,
new 1 hour special which I had written. I sort of started it in Jan, Feb. Feb, I
mhm,
took it to Europe. So I did
mhm,
some 3, 4 cities in Europe. I did London, I did
mhm,
Amsterdam, I did Antwerp, I did Munich, and I did Dubai. And then from 18th March to 18th April, I was in the US from 13th March to 13th April, I was at the 18 city tour of US. So I had a
Oh,
whole US tour happening across US and Canada with 18 cities. And these things you work on these things from like 6, 8 months back. Booking
right.
the auditoriums there, selling tickets and things like that. And I reached America on 10th of March, but the assurance by Mr. Donald Trump that it's just a flu, it will go away in 5 days. And I reached there on 10th of March, and within 3 days, the entire world shut down. You know, so
Right.
without
Huh.
doing a single show, I had to cancel everything and come back. So I came back on India on 14th March, and obviously that time was very, very scary. It was very scary times. We didn't know when the world was shutting down, airports were shutting down, cities were shutting down. National lockdown happened in India on 18th of March.
Mm,
So, uh, and one thing which we knew right from the beginning, and it was evident that our kind of art form will be the last to start. Okay,
mm,
because our industry, the stand-up comedy industry, is pretty small. I mean, if they're to start between us and Bollywood, they'll start Bollywood first. They'll start the shootings first, and that's what exactly happened. They started shootings first, then opened the movie theaters because there's a lot of more money, more number of people riding on that industry. We are a very small industry, maybe 400 people, 500 people. That's it.
mm,
And with
mm.
the ancillary, maybe 1,000 people. There are much bigger industries to entertainment industry to start, like marriages industry and things like that, wedding industry. Sorry. The thing is that so obviously these are very scary times for all of us, and
Mhm,
we didn't know what was going to happen. And I mean, on the comedy front, I knew personally a lot of young comedians who had left homes,
mhm,
come to Bombay, because Bombay really is the capital of stand-up comedy scene in India. Uh,
mm,
uh, for somebody who's really wanting to come here, so a lot of people, kids had left homes and staying in PGs in Bombay, and suddenly all their revenue streams have stopped.
mm.
So a lot of them had to leave home and go away back to the home cities and things like that. So it was obviously a bad time, but I think it was a lot of comedians, including me, we really adapted very fast. Okay.
Mm,
Uh,
mm,
so I remember early, like when the lockdown happened, soon after that, a lot of our comedians we met on virtually on Zoom and decided how to go forward. How can we do Zoom shows? So one or
mm.
two comedians had already done it. So I also got into this, into this bandwagon very quickly. And on the lockdown happened on 18th March or so. I announced my first show on 2nd of April. Zoom पे मैंने
अच्छा.
book का
Oh,
show में announce कर दिया without having a
wow.
clue how to do a Zoom show. You know,
Okay.
the first show I had it with just 50, 60 people, and very quickly some of us learned how to handle a virtual call.
Right.
Okay, so we invested in lights, I invested in internet links, double internet links. I invested in this green screen sort of
Uh,
you know
uh,
in case you have to my wife hates this green curtain, but I said suppose कभी मुझे कुछ green curtain पे show करना है, at least I should
uh,
have it. So I installed this at home. So a lot of things which we did, and uh, uh, and uh, it was not so bad because a lot of
mm,
corporates started doing
mm,
shows on Zoom. I had a lot of private parties, somebody's 50th birthday party, somebody's 75th birthday party, because
mm.
people also wanted some entertainment.
Right.
And touch wood, it has not been as bad financially as what obviously there's a huge drop compared to what it was in the live. I mean,
Mm,
I had an entire tour planned of the US. and that got cancelled right at the beginning of the year. I lost a lot of money, crazy amount of money I lost because financial year, I'm saying in April, I lost a lot of money because the tour was March, April, and you book all your tickets, your hotels, you book it all in advance, and none of those guys are refunding anything,
Right.
because in the
Absolutely.
US specifically, all the flights and hotels were on. They never shut down. They didn't have a lockdown. It's I didn't turn up for that.
Oh.
A lot of auditoriums did not pay the refund back, saying that we have to pay our unions here and things like that. So I lost a crazy amount of money starting in the pandemic only, but
Mhm.
I was quite determined to sort of get that money back. So I started
Hmm.
doing a lot of these shows and all that, and it's been pretty good.
Hmm.
And So you have to adapt, you have to innovate. And there are a lot of comedians who rightfully said, no, I don't like Zoom, I don't like the experience, this is my life art form, I want to go when the stage will start. And fair
Okay.
enough. A lot of them took this time to write some new projects which you were thinking for a lot of time. A lot of people learned a new skill which they were, it was COVID actually gave a lot of us a good resting period,
Resting
either to
period.
catch up on your Netflix, जो तुमको देखना था बैकलॉग वो सब खत्म किया लोगों ने, जो बुक्स पढ़ने थे, जिसको गिटार सीखना
हाँ.
था, जिसको स्पेनिश सीखनी थी, सब कर दिया, वो आपने कर लिया. Now
हाँ.
the world is starting back, and so right now shows are starting back, with obviously limited capacities, and but I think very soon things will get back.
Do you think the world will go back to the normal? And I'm talking from the comedy business point of view. Do you think it will be again back to square one like it used to be, or will there be any change in terms of performance, business, execution point of view?
Just to answer question, it will be a hybrid model,
Hmm.
where the Zoom and thing will still exist.
Hmm.
Uh, because one thing which we realized, most comedians, like I did shows for Ghana. I'm doing a show
Oh,
this Saturday for Kuwait, for some association in Kuwait. Okay, now
wow.
just imagine if they have to fly me to Ghana, they would spend like 1.5, 2 lakh rupees just getting me to Ghana with visa,
Right.
this, that, hotel
Right.
stay, then book an auditor. Now it's happening on Zoom, which is what, $120 per month subscription.
Right.
क्या खर्चा है, सिर्फ मेरा खर्चा, एक वर्चुअल बैकग्राउंड दिया पीछे, that's it. And we are having
Hmm.
60-70% of the same fun we are having.
Right.
So I think those things will still continue, in my
Hmm.
opinion,
Hmm. Hmm.
till the time. I think once everybody is vaccinated, then obviously there is no other. We will all get back to what we were doing.
Hmm.
I just hope people, when we get back, we should get back as better human beings.
Hmm.
Respect the nature and all these things. But I strongly suspect that once uh, the vaccine is out, everybody's safe, feels enough, COVID has
Hmm.
been sort of eradicated or it's
Hmm. Hmm.
negligible. I think it will be a crazy V-shaped recovery where people will, burst out and बोलेंगे पता नहीं कब टाइम मिले, नहीं चलो क्या बोलता है, आईफिल टावर देखना था, चलो चलो, एफडी तोड़ा के चलो आईफिल टावर देखो, लेकिन
Hmm.
खत्म करो अभी. So all that will also happen.
Anything else comers need to think about or be prepared for?
See, right now, honestly, it's a very bad time. If you're supposing you're doing a job and you want to get into comedy to follow your passion, it's a bad time for you to
Mhm.
leave your job now. If you have a
Mhm.
steady job, please stick to it.
Mhm.
You can do comedy. There are a lot of open
Mm,
mics which are happening on Zoom.
mm,
I
mm,
still think it's a wait and watch. Let's wait for
mm,
next 6 months how the
mm.
vaccine is coming out, how the virus, because none of us know. Honestly, none of us know. Right
Right.
from WHO to Indian government, nobody knows how this virus is shaping up. So wait
Right.
and watch. And that is anyway an advice I give to a lot of people, is that please weigh your pros and cons before you jump into anything to follow your passion.
Mm.
Just to give you a perspective, I started doing comedy in 2012. I was a CEO of a company, but ऐसा नहीं कि first open mic के बाद मैंने काम छोड़ के सीधा jump किया. I took 4 years. From
Right.
2012 to 2016, I used to do both, because stand-up comedy gives us this opportunity. It's an evening profession. You can do your work in the morning, come into an
Mm,
open mic
mm,
or
mm,
in the evening. So I did both for 4 years. And at 2016, when I finally felt confident that I would make money out of this, I quit
mhm.
my very steady job and got into this. So you
Right.
also, any person watching it,
Mm,
passion, ठीक है. Finally, at the end of
mm.
it, you have to pay your bills. खाना खाना पड़ता है. You have to go for a holiday. You have to keep your wife and children satisfied. So, so please, take a
Right.
leap of faith only when you're totally ready.
So I want you to talk a bit onto the overall income versus invest versus income aspect of it, from the comedy business point of view, monetarily, socially, and what are the things people need to invest in terms of time, money, and energy, and stuff like that.
Great. So I'll first take your investments. Obviously, in our terms, there is a lot of investment in your time, which you have to
Mm-hmm.
do. There's no really money investment because your own, you don't have to hire people and things that you don't have to hire an office. You could be sitting at home and working. Could should be a coffee shop and working. So there's
Mm-hmm.
really not too much investment. The only investment is your time and your effort. Again, I'm telling you, it's a very, very serious business. It's not fun. You take it like any other profession. Uh, Invest a lot of time in it. You cannot be lazy. You have to be continuously out there. You have to be reading. You have to know what's happening in the world. You have to be fairly active on social media. One other advice I would give to anybody following comedy is go and first of all follow all the comedians in India. Know what kind of work they are doing, what shows they are doing. Uh, you know, uh, uh, or in the world, whoever your favorite comedians. Now it's very easy on Twitter, Instagram. You can know what they are doing, work they are doing. So that also helps you maybe like an aspiration or dream. You see your favorite comedian in India performing at Royal Opera House in Sydney. That should be aspiration. One day when I want to perform there. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so like that. I'm just going to tell you that. So in terms of investment, the only investment is a lot of hard work. Writing jokes. And you have to be very honest to yourself. You have to be very, very honest to the profession. You have to go and hit those open mics. You have to put in a lot of, मुझे बोलते हैं ना, चप्पल घिसाने पड़ेंगे आपको in terms of going to open mics. Maybe if you had started doing well in Bombay, suppose you're from Bombay, say, chalo, now let me go and try my jokes in Delhi. Let me try my jokes in Jaipur. Talk to the comedians there. Nobody will come to you. You will have to make the effort. Speak to the comedy club owners, talk to them, request them, can I come and do a spot here? You know, uh, and it doesn't pay you initially. That's the reason I said if you're going to some city, go and stay with your relative and all. Don't go and stay in a hotel. Funny hotel ka bill bhi aayega, unless you're rich, you can pay all that. That's fair enough, you know. And yeah, so that's how you progress, and then keep on writing more. You may start with 5 minutes, then 10 minutes, and 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Keep on working on your craft. Be good to all your fellow comedians because finally they are going to be your bouncing board and your sounding boards. So that's the kind of investment, and it may take you anywhere between 1 year, 6 months to 1 year to maybe years. I know comedians abroad uh, who, after doing stand-up comedy for 14, 15 years have still not broken out. They are still sort of in that survival mode. They make X amount in a week and they spend, X minus 10, they make just 10, 20%. That's a very, so fortunately in India, we are very, very lucky that right now the scene has just started. It's honestly been 10 years in the comedy. And also, let me tell you, it's getting very tougher and tough because every day new comedians are coming. Uh, Earlier at open mics, we used to see the same faces. Now every open mic you get, you see a fresh 20 people coming, which is damn good. The new voices will come out, new people will come out. A lot of females are coming out, which is very, very nice because we need more female voices because initially it was usually only male voices, so no female voices will come out. As I told you earlier, voices from different languages will come out. Stories. Like there are some comedians today mainstream, like like Abhishek Upamanyu, Bassi, and things like that, who are Bassi is I think from Faridabad or Noida, or one from UP somewhere. Upamanyu is from Chandigarh. Those stories come out, those voices come out, those words come out, which you've never heard before, and we all enjoying that so much. So yes, uh, that is your investment in terms of a lot of effort and time which you have to put and true honesty to the job. Don't again coming, gets a cool job. I'll come, I'll a lot of first thing people do hit the open mic and first जाके अपना Facebook DP change करते with the mic in the hand कि अभी मैं comedian बन गया हूँ, वो ठीक है करो आप but बहुत hard work है उसके लिए. And I know
Absolutely.
comedians in now also are struggling for 4, 4, 5, 5 years even in Bombay. अब तक they have not got that break which they deserve.
Okay.
So yeah. Now in terms of the money where you can make, obviously is through public shows, ticketed shows. You can make money from private events, corporate events. We comedians are typically writers, so we get a lot of writing projects.
Okay.
So for example, all these Filmfare Awards and IFA Awards and things like that are written by comedians like us. When I was with East India Comedy many years back, I think I co-wrote with the other fellow guys some IFA awards, some other awards. You get a lot of film scripts. Sometimes they come to you and say, okay, can you make it funnier? A lot of these programs come to you, TV programs come to you and say,
Hmm.
you know, you're writing for them. Sometimes you're writing for other senior comedians for some brand work or some other thing. Also, one more thing, whether you like it or no, social media is a big help, okay, for you, and that's a good platform for comedians to express their thought of the day or
Hmm.
the joke of the day. It's a
Hmm.
thing to test it out also. So, and you have to be fairly active on social media, whether you like it or no, is because tickets are finally sold there. That's why you make your fan base, you know. So
Right.
you cannot say that I want to be a comedian. Very good, you're a comedian, but I don't want to post on Twitter. I don't want to post on Instagram. I don't want to post on Snapchat or
Hmm.
whatever the platforms are. Fine, you don't like to do it, but then when you want to sell tickets, then don't complain यार कोई आ ही नहीं रहा है. Because one thing you have to realize is tickets are not being sold on in newspaper or on TV. बच्चे लोग आजकल टीवी नहीं देखते हैं, पेपर नहीं पढ़ते हैं.
Hmm.
You know,
Hmm. Hmm.
none of the kids do all that. So where do they go for two tickets? How will they know that you are performing in a club near them? It will only be through
Right.
social media. You know,
Right. Right.
so you have to be fairly active on social media also,
Hmm.
out there daily, telling people about what you're doing and about your life, about, you know, your gigs and things like that.
Hmm. Hmm.
So yeah,
Hmm.
I think that's how you make money. And once you're there, you know, once you're a good writer, you're a good comedian, and other
Hmm.
people notice you. One thing is which is very good about the industry, which you have not said. If you're good, if you're really good, if you have a very unique voice, you have a unique comedy style or a unique writing style, you will get noticed like this. And
Hmm.
within days, all comedians around India will know, hey, there is this new comedian on the block. He's very funny. Okay.
Hmm.
And so other comedians will start approaching you. Okay, काम कर, you know, I've heard you're very funny. I'm doing a tour. Why don't you open for me? You know, in
Hmm.
the entire tour. And obviously you'll make money out of that. Then you get to see how a live tour is happening.
Hmm.
Sometimes there's some writing work which is there. They'll say, अरे यार, I need some junior writers. हाँ यार, उसका सुना है, दिलनवाज जयपुर का है लेकिन बहुत अच्छा लिखता है. Let's call दिलनवाज. And आजकल सब online हो रहा है, you know. So
Right.
you can get those opportunities, and मतलब कुछ ना कुछ होगा. And but however, if you have a proper job, a day job, nice paying job,
Hmm.
please don't quit it or don't throw it and say, unless you're getting too much work in comedy and you feel कि ठीक है, you know, okay, this is my outlook for the next 2 months. This is the money I'm going to make from my comedy.
Right.
It's more than what I'm, what's equal to what I'm doing that. Okay, yes, I have a good FD, I have a bank balance. Okay, I'm married. Even my wife is working. She'll help me out. चलो एक काम करते हैं, let me quit. You know, when
Hmm.
I also took the decision, my wife is working. She's a hairstylist. She's a professional hairstylist. You know, she runs a salon in Bombay. So she said, Atul, take the leap. I'm there with you. You know,
Right.
one day, some months you'll not do well, some months I'll do well. We'll support each other and we'll power through this. You know, take the
Wow.
leap. And I took the leap. So I think it is very important because of her. Tomorrow, if she would have said to hell with you, you take your own decision, I'm not going to help you. I would still be doing CEO Giri as well as my stand up in the evening.
What was your relation with family like back then? What it is now? People in their mid 40s and 50s who are about to hit a midlife crisis or in their think यार कुछ और भी करते बड़ा monotonous हो गया life are not able to take this leap of faith because of the log kya kahenge thing. I
Hmm.
want you to talk, spend couple of minutes on to giving us the
Sure.
broader picture. वो लोग क्या करना चाहिए, आपने कैसे किया? Through us, take us through the entire thing, please.
Okay. So when I started doing comedy, you know, I was the CEO of a company. My parents are there, and when I started doing these open mics and every evening going, I told my father about it, and honestly, he was not very happy with it. You know, it's like somebody, you're doing a nice, steady paying business, you have a job, you have now, you know, obviously because finally you have X amount of time. You know, and you feel that if some amount of time you're not going to give it to a new passion of yours, obviously it will affect the business, it will affect your other part of it. So he was
Hmm.
not very happy with it. He's old, he's fairly conservative. He didn't understand what stand-up comedy was. You know, I used to tell him, जो कपिल शर्मा करता है, मैं वो जाके stage पे करता हूँ, and things like that. My mom also didn't understand. Even she was not very happy with it. कि तू क्या करता है, हर शाम को बाहर जाता है, you know. And because initially I used to, when I was starting out, I started enjoying it so much that I used to go and watch a lot of comedy. Whether I get to perform or no, Bombay में typically, you know, there's comedy happening from Wednesday, Thursday, तो हर रात को comedy होता है. अंदर comedy club was there, तो वहाँ तो shows होते ही होते थे. So I used to go, I used to just love sitting in the audience, watching how the comedian is doing, how the audience is reacting. Anyway, so it became to such an extent that one day my father, when I'd gone to one of these shows, went and told my wife that, listen, just with अपने, you know, husband पे आँख रखो. ये ग्लैमर लाइन है, ये बॉलीवुड लाइन है, मेरा बेटा चला जाएगा, तुम्हारा हस्बैंड चला जाएगा, इसमें लड़कियां होती है, ये होता है, ग्लैमर है, वी आर अ कंजर्वेटिव सिंधी फैमिली, ये हमारे लिए नहीं है, यू नो। माय फ्रेंड
Oh.
यूज्ड टू से, ये तो कॉमेडी कर रहा है, कितने दिन तक करेगा, यू नो। मतलब लाइक ठीक है, तूने शौक खत्म कर दिया अपना कॉमेडी का, लाइक नो कम ऑन, लाइक यू नो, गो बैक टू योर वर्क एंड थिंग्स लाइक दैट, बट आई वाज एंजॉयिंग इट सो मच दैट I mean, but I took 4 years, and finally, I think at the end of third year after doing comedy, I was quite sure that this is what I want to do, and I was doing well. Crowd was accepting me. I started getting corporate, so I was making money out of it. You know, uh, so this I started in 2012. My comedy in 2014. After 2 years, all these things happened. Okay, so that was my parents' part. My children were very cool about it. My daughter was 17 and 15. For them, they were very cool. Oh, dad has become a comedian. Oh, such a cool job and things like that. तो उनके लिए तो बहुत अच्छा था. And my wife obviously was supportive out of this.
Hmm.
But there was a pressure on me to see that my work doesn't suffer. Okay.
Hmm.
So that was a crazy, honestly, that was the biggest pressure on me, that no time, either my client or my colleagues in my workplace would say that, ये तूने नया शुरू किया ना, this is suffering, this report has not gone, this is not happening, this target has not been achieved because now you're following your own passion, maybe making money. I had other directors also in my company who I had to answer to. You know, it was not, I was
Right.
not some हरफनमौला कि मैं खुद जो करना है करूंगा, you know. So
Hmm.
I was answerable to the balance sheet, to everything, to the profit loss statement. So during that time I used to do crazy time, you know, thing. Like I remember तभी मुझे shows मिलते थे दिल्ली में. Suppose I used to get a show in Delhi. Those usually shows, and you know, any shows is usually 7:38. I should take the last flight, the 3-4 बजे की flight रहता था बॉम्बे से, reach Delhi at 5 o'clock, 5:30, straight from the airport, rush to the venue, change at the venue only, do my show, stay in Delhi, then take the early morning flight, the 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock early morning flight from Delhi, first flight out of Delhi, come to Bombay, straight to work, you know, with
Wow.
my bag, and work over there whole day, because I didn't want any time somebody complaining that you are not coming, you're coming to work late, or you're not, you know,
Hmm.
putting in the effort because
Hmm.
तुमको भी नया passion मिल गया, and you know the company is suffering because of you.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
yes, I did all that. So my children were cool. My dad was sadly. So in 2012, I did comedy. In 2014, I took part in this contest called CEO's Got Talent.
Hmm.
Okay. It was just like how we got India's Got Talent, America's Got Talent. CNBC TV organized this big reality show on TV called CEO's Got Talent, where
Hmm.
CEOs were come and told to perform and, you know, show your whatever, your side of it, the other side of it. So I took part in that contest. It was at Bombay in a huge 5-star hotel with 800,000 people as audience. It's proper like a Got Talent kind of a setup. There were 3 judges. It was
Uh-huh.
Ravina Tandon. I remember it was Ravina Tandon, Mahesh Bhatt, and Raj Nayak, who's the ex-CEO of Colors TV. They were
Okay.
the judges. They were sitting in that big thing with an X in front of them, so they can vote
Oh.
you out if you don't like you. And it was
Okay.
like very, very live, very real, fairly
Hmm.
brutal. If
Hmm.
they didn't like you, they could vote you out. And so I took part in that, and I told my parents for the first time. At 2 years, they were seeing me doing this, but they never knew what I was doing. Then I never
Okay.
invited them on stage. But when this happened, I said, "Let me call them." You know, so I invited them. I sort of forced them. No, please come for the show. I told the CEOs
Hmm.
Got Talent people, I'm getting, other than my wife, I'm getting my parents also.
Uh-huh.
And they came for the show. First time they came for such a show, and I actually won that award that night. Okay,
Okay.
I won the CEO's Got Talent award that night, and you know, when they saw that, I got a standing ovation at the set, and after the set, after the evening got over, a lot of, you know, big CEOs of big companies, big, you know, celebrity illuminaries of the corporate industry came up to my parents and congratulated them. "Kya, your son is doing such a great job, making people laugh is such a noble profession. You know,
Wow.
doctors, it's like what doctors do. Laughter keeps the medicine away." And this and that. So they didn't understand what I was doing on stage, but they were just looking around, people laughing and this, you know. And that day, I felt I got some kind of legitimacy to my job from them, you know. And
Wow.
this is an important point I'll tell you, is because I think 1.5 year back, I was performing in Delhi. First show in Noida, there was this girl, a young girl, opening for me, doing an opening act, a local girl from Delhi, doing the opening act for me. And she did very well. And when the show got over, I was dropping her home with the driver home, and I asked her, "How do your parents feel about your comedy?" And she said, "No, they don't like it, you know."
Oh.
Because she had a job, proper job, she was working somewhere. She think my parents don't like it because, first of all, it's, you know, Delhi is not so safe. रात को जाना पड़ता है, फिर, you know, घर आना पड़ता है, and this and that, and it sometimes gets late. 11 बज जाते हैं, 12 बज जाते हैं कभी कभी शो में. So I told her, do one thing. Have your parents ever seen you perform? And she said, no, never. And she was doing for nearly 1 year, 6 महीने से एक साल से कर रही थी. Open mic करती. So I said, एक काम कर, कल गुड़गांव में show है. Please invite your parents for the show. I'll put them on my guest list. It was sold out, the show. I said, but please, we'll make place for them. Come, get them.
Hmm. Hmm.
And she got her parents along, and she did very well on stage. And her parents again had the same feeling which my parents got. You know.
Wow.
And when the show got over, I told the parents, like, see, she's doing such a good job. I know it's a little difficult. Maybe you'll have to go and pick her up and drop her in the night, or at least pick her up in the
Hmm.
night after the show gets over. Because I understand Delhi transportation is not good, or whatever,
Right. Hmm.
So, but see, India is opening up. These are new professions which never existed 10 years back.
Right.
Parents, some of the conservative parents will obviously have doubts about it, things about it. Okay, ये कैसा है? It's a freelancer job. It's not a steady job. आज
Hmm.
show है, आपको आज पैसा है, कल नहीं है show, नहीं पैसा है. But
Hmm.
you have to be. That's why I tell people you have to be continuously at it. You cannot just say कि मैं lie on back कि जब show आएगा करूँगा and all that. If you're that thing, then don't do it. This is, unless you have a fat bank balance or rich father, then you can do all these things. Otherwise, you have to be at it day in and day out. So yeah, I
Hmm.
think this is, most importantly in
And
terms of how I
and
got
your
acceptance out of that.
and your advice to people who are now in their 40s or 50s and now want to go
Yeah.
into something different, what do you think? Because इस time पर आके we are also in this mind frame that we don't want to change much, और हमारा एक image बना हुआ है, like we have some sort of
लोग
a
क्या कहेंगे? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
लोग क्या कहेंगे reputation, तो वो कैसे break किया
Well,
जाए? How do you break the barrier?
I'm from a very conservative Sindhi family, extended family, big
Hmm.
social circles, and
हाँ.
obviously, even I had के लोग क्या कहेंगे, like my wife's friends, my own friends, she told me, boss, ये क्या कर रहा है तू? Like, what are you doing? Like, ये कब तक करेगा? ये क्या एक
हाँ.
साल चलेगा, 6 महीना चलेगा? And I said, no. What, you're going to do this for the rest of your life? I said, yeah. What about your work? You're doing so well. I said, yeah, I'm just enjoying this very much, and I just feel I'm good at it. And it would
हाँ.
be foolish that if I'm good at it, I suddenly, leave it, and just because of some nostalgia कि नहीं 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 कंप्यूटर का बिजनेस तो करना ही है, मैंने शुरू किया था या मैं तब से 25 साल से
हाँ.
कर रहा हूँ. And that's, I think, a very important. People have to realize that if there is a faster horse and you're getting an opportunity to ride on it, please jump on it. But
Hmm.
again, I'm telling you, take caution. I've had, so I'll tell you, I did a corporate show for a very big Tata company, and in the evening, the show went off very well. And in the night, I was about to sleep at 11 o'clock. I got a message on my phone on my hotel. The manager called me, I think the CEO of the company wants to talk to you. And he was there at the show.
Hmm.
And so he, at 11 o'clock, because उनका show खत्म हो गया, मैं तो room में था, उसका phone आया कि, hey, Mr. Khatri, I want to spend half an hour with you early morning tomorrow, because I had a flight back to Bombay next day. उनका तो show
हाँ.
चल रहा था, मैं तो अपना show करके next day I was back. He said,
हाँ.
can you spend half an hour with me at the breakfast table? I said, yeah, sure. और
हाँ.
मैं पूरी रात सोया नहीं, पता नहीं मैंने क्या बोला stage पे that he's got offended. You know,
Oh.
I thought, I don't know, things are going. I asked the manager, that agent, कि क्या हुआ? Why does he want to meet me? Show तो अच्छा गया. He said, पता नहीं, he wants to meet you. I said, oh shit, I don't know क्या मैंने बोला, कुछ गलत बोला stage पे, you know. So next morning, I met him at 7:30 in the morning. He and me alone, we met at a coffee shop, एक जगह table पे, we were having breakfast. And he said, यार, I really liked your show and I really want to open it to, I want to do poetry. You know, I am
Wow.
I want to do poetry. I was very inspired by you, that you followed your passion. Even I am at your similar age. Even I have the same thing, that I have children growing up. Somebody, my daughter wants to go to US for studies. उधर मेरे 50 लाख खर्चा हो जाएंगे, ये करूँ वो गए. What should I do? I said, see, first of all, I said, you must be good at poetry. You feel, but does the audience know? So you have to go to these open mics. Open mics will happen in Khar, Bandra. Your office is in Fort. I said, you will have to take that extra effort and that pain of leaving your work at 7:30, rushing to a comedy club at 8:30, going there, booking it. Your secretary won't book it for you. You'll have to do it yourself, you know in terms of
Wow.
requesting that guy, okay, give me the stage and this and that. So please do it. I told him everything. This is one life. I don't believe in karma and all that, or 9 lives. Jo hai idhar hi hai. And one thing, actually, on a side note, I want to say one thing which used to really bother me uh, in my mid 40s or midlife crisis, that uh, I don't want to. It's now or never. If I don't do it now, it will get too late, because then the responsibilities will even grow further. And then
Hmm.
suddenly, by that, how time passes by, one day I'll suddenly realize, shit, I'm 65, 70. and now I can't do anything. And they'll say, yeah, oh shit, I should have at least tried it. No, you know,
Hmm.
that then you have to blame that for yourself. You cannot blame anybody else. You have to kick yourself, make that
Hmm.
time out. And exactly, I told him the same thing, and he said, yeah, I'll try to do it. And then after 6 months, again, he called me up and said, hey, Atul, I went for a poetry open mic. I really had a good time. I did very well, and now I
Hmm.
want to take it the next step forward and things like that. I said, it's well done, you know. So I think it's very important for people that you have to kick yourself. I know it's very difficult. You know, log ka kahenge will, and honestly, sorry, I don't want to use this word, but balls to log kya kahenge, you know. Finally, it's your life, your family circle. If your wife, your children are happy, your parents are okay with it, to hell with society. लोग तो वैसे भी कहेंगे यार, you know. You call your
Fantastic.
लोग for the best party and still at the end of it they'll complain, यार रबड़ी बराबर नहीं थी यार, वो single malt 12 साल की थी, 15 साल तो रखना चाहिए था, you know. So people will still complain that. तो लोग तो कहते रहेंगे, you know. लोगों का काम है कहना, that किशोर कुमार song, you know.
Fantastic, sir. On the last note, I want to, before I jump onto the rapid fire, I just want to understand your perspective on success, happiness, fame, and money.
Uh, I think first of all, as long as you do something which you like, which you
Mhm,
enjoy,
mhm,
okay, success will come. Okay, happiness will come first. First is happiness. I'll put it. If you're enjoying something, you'll feel happy about it. Like
mhm.
when I was working, I used to tell my staff every day, "Okay, do you wake up every morning and saying that, oh shit, I have to come to office?" Or it's like, wow, I have to go to office. If it's like, for whatever reason, if you're staying too far, you don't like the job, you don't like me as a boss, or you don't like your job profile, you know, please leave your job, find something else. You know, I want all my team members to come to work thinking that, wow, today I'm going for work. So you should enjoy your work. So number one, uh, if you enjoy your work, happiness will come. With
Mhm.
happiness, success will come. Okay, and money and fame will, for money will follow and fame will follow.
Fame
You
will
know, so I
follow.
think, yeah, so I think, and don't look for those. Search
Mhm.
for your own happiness. That will 100% happen on your own, whatever you do, whether you're a chef, whether you're a dancer, whether you're a painter. As long as you put your passion to your job, those things have to follow. There's no doubt about it. You know, it may take time. You know, it may take time. And also, I am not a believer in, okay, he had a lot of luck, and you know, and luck wasn't on his favor. There's nothing like luck work. It's all hard work. At the end of it, काम करो, you know, and उसका तुमको फल मिलेगा.
Sure. Now I'll move on to the rapid fire. So, what's the
Sure.
next big thing in the pipeline now for you?
No, no, nothing big as such. I'm trying. First of all, this new show which I had written, thanks to the pandemic, last eight
Mhm.
months, 9 months, I've got wiped out. So once this pandemic gets over, I have to start again now. Once the world reopens, to take the tour, you know, every somewhere else and take it forward. I think that will be my next step, because I put
Okay.
a lot of hard effort in this one hour special, and then so that's next for me in terms of. And I'm sure, I'm
We
very
wish you all the
positive
best
that
for
the
that.
world is open up now, and we'll be back on track soon. Yeah.
Who's your favorite comedian in India and internationally?
In India, I think my favorite comedian could be Veer Das,
Okay.
because of the amount of hard work he puts in this craft.
Mhm.
You know, even in this lockdown, he had his new Netflix special, Sitting at Home, he released. In fact, it's released yesterday. So people who are
Yesterday,
there
yes, yes,
watching
yes,
it,
yes.
please go and watch his thing on Netflix. And abroad, there are a lot of comedians. I like Michael McIntyre, I like Ricky Gervais, I like
Mhm,
Dave Chappelle. There are a whole
mhm,
lot of them who I like. You know, I think,
mhm,
and generally, it's not a politically correct answer. Anybody on stage who can go
mhm,
up and make people laugh, you know, I love them because I know how difficult the profession is.
mhm. Okay. Uh, Tell us about your best fan moment and also a worst, embarrassing, or a funny fan moment.
Uh, Best fan moment was actually, I had done a corporate show. I remember some time back, and this lady came to me after the show,
Uh-huh.
and you know, there was a lot of sadness in her eyes, and she came up to me and told me very seriously, Mr. Khatri, you know, I had gone through a personal tragedy, and by the feel of it, I felt that she had lost a young loved one,
Mhm,
and she said that 8 months, I thought I had forgotten how to laugh, and today I have laughed, and I like, she had like, while she was talking, she had tears in her eyes. She said, thanks to you, I laughed after 8 months, which I thought I had forgotten, you know,
hmm.
how to laugh. I thought I would never laugh again in my life, but today you made me laugh. So thank you so much, man. So I think that was a very beautiful compliment I got. Funny moments you get a lot, you know. I remember after one of these shows, you know, you're standing outside the auditorium and people are coming out and, you know, welcome you. Very good show, good show. And this guy came up with his hand, and I shaken hand. I thought he'll say, good chasing, bhai sahab, toilet kidhar hai, you know.
Oh
So I
shit.
said, So these are some of these fun moments we have. So yeah.
And the last question of the podcast, last question of the rapid fire, last question of the today's conversation. One thing you want people to remember you for.
I think people should, whenever they see me or see my picture or
Mhm,
meet me somewhere on the road,
mhm,
they should smile first, thinking that this guy brought, comedy or humor to my life.
Okay.
And I think that is when they look at me or hear my name, they should always feel like whenever you hear Kishore Kumar, the word,
Hmm,
you think of melody. So I think
hmm.
when people look at me or hear my name or talk to me or think about me, it should always be associated with humor or laughter.
Fantastic. So I'll
Sure.
quickly pick up audience's question. Are there any topics that a stand-up comic should avoid, or should they have free reign to joke about anything?
So actually, technically speaking, comedian can talk about anything. You can joke about everything, anything under the sun. It could
Mhm,
be religion, it could be politics, it could be sex, it could be anything. But one thing you have to realize is that where you are doing comedy, that is important. Okay,
okay.
and you have to respect the sentiments. You have to respect the culture. You have to respect your audience. For example, I'll tell you. I think last year I did a show in, I think, Udaipur. 2 years
Mhm.
back, I did a show in Udaipur, and that was the first time there was stand-up comedy happening in Udaipur. First time ever. I was making history.
Oh.
So they've never had any comedy. There was never Zakir or or a Abhishek. I was the first guy for some reason in Udaipur.
Uh-huh.
First time they were having a stand-up comedy. Now this is a very new crowd watching comedy for the first time. If I go down heavy with dark jokes and sexual jokes and this jokes, बोलेंगे अरे भैया ये कॉमेडी नहीं 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 हम घर पे बैठ के टीवी देखते हैं कपिल शर्मा देखेंगे ये हमारे लिए लायक नहीं है we
Mhm,
watch that. So it becomes the responsibility of the comedian not to scare the audience, not to turn them off from comedy, because if I do a bad job there, if I do a horrible job there, they will never come and watch any other comedian after me coming
mhm, mhm,
so there's a responsibility to the comedian to grow the same. It's my responsibility as one of the early comedians who probably uh, uh, coming to the city of
mhm,
for people who are watching comedy the first time, not to scare them away from this art genre of comedy.
mhm,
So that is it, and I think this is every country, you'll be surprised. Singapore, Dubai, a lot of
mhm.
countries have their own do's and don'ts. Okay, don't talk about this, don't talk about this, don't talk
Right.
about this. And maybe only in America, maybe you have the absolute freedom of expression.
Mhm,
Uh, and you have to self-censor. Like and there are topics. See, idea is what like I don't do religious jokes on religion. I personally don't like it. I don't do fart jokes. I don't
mhm,
like it. You know, I have never made a joke on Temur Ali Khan because I think he's somebody's child. I should not make joke on him. But that's me. But it's
mhm,
absolutely okay for any other comedian to make jokes on any of these things. Yeah.
mhm,
So yes, I think first of all you can make jokes on anything. And one thing over here, let me tell you, for the crowd is that these are jokes. We don't write them to intentionally hurt somebody. But as Woody Allen says, you've done a bad job if you have not offended anybody in the room. So somebody will get offended. You say the most positive thing, somebody will get still get offended. You know,
mhm,
like
mhm.
somebody will get offended. Why is Dilnawaz wearing a blue jacket? He should be wearing an orange jacket. You know, he's in Jaipur. He's in Rajasthan. He's wearing blue
Right.
because that state is being governed by Congress.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Do you observe situations and create comedy, or can you create comedy just in your head?
No, it's usually either through your personal stories or you see an
Mm,
observation. And most comedians will see observations. You and me will be walking together on the street, and you
mhm,
won't observe it, but I will observe it because I'm continuously scanning things for which I can find material or find things which are funny, which you may not find funny.
mhm,
You know.
mhm, mhm.
So yes, like you read a paper, you and me today can read the same newspaper. I'll find 20 jokes. You may not even find one joke.
Right.
Out of that situation. So we are continuously thinking about that. So I
And
think
I'm assuming, I'm assuming you also improve on this craft the more you go deeper.
100%, 100%. The more you read, it becomes easier to write a joke or to create something out of it.
What if the audience doesn't laugh to your jokes? What to do at that moment on stage?
There are a lot of things which you can do. Now you have to understand why they are not laughing. Is it you said something which turned them off? Uh, you
Mhm,
know. But there are a lot of tips and tricks what you can do. Suppose you're saying your jokes and nobody is laughing for whatever reason. It's a bad crowd. The crowd is never bad actually, but whatever reason they're not laughing, what you can always do is you can get into audience interactions. Sometimes the audience interactions will make them laugh. Where you start talking to people and start making jokes on the spot. maybe that will get you back. Then you again go back to your jokes. You know, uh, that's actually that much you can do. There's not really too much you can do. Otherwise, other than just really talking to them, understand why they were laughing.
So that was all from the audience side as well. So any
Thank you
closure
so much.
remarks from your side, sir?
No, no, no. Just please, it's not too late to follow your passion at whatever age you are. Do it. Take the leap of faith. Number one, and whatever. It's not only comedy. Whatever you want to be a chef, you want to be a this. Uh, you have to work very hard at it. And today, whatever you think of it, think of it internationally, because the globe has really become very, very small. The world has become very, very small.
Hmm.
And so today, if you're becoming a chef in a small city like in a Jaipur, for example, not a small city, but I'm saying in Jaipur, think of it how one day you'll be having a restaurant in London, for example,
Hmm.
or in New York, or maybe in Singapore. So think of it always globally. Number one. Number two is stay positive in this corona period. This corona period is more of a game of a mental health rather than physical health. So stay positive. We are really at the end of it.
Right.
Yeah, and I think just have fun in whatever you do, and I think that's very, very important. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for giving
Thank
us
you.
all your time and being on the show.